Alright people, what's going on? Welcome to Comics Expertise. Today I will be telling you all about X-Men number 7, written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Matteo Buffagni. Alright, so as this comic opens, we see Mystique and her wife, Destiny, watching the sunset. So Destiny is telling Mystique, listen, I want you to hear every word and believe what I'm saying. It's all true, every word of it. And then from there, we cut to now, which is the Orchis base somewhere else. And don't worry, I'm going to get back to the Destiny and Mystique conversation. But, like I was saying, we see this woman who is one of the leaders of Orchis, and she's getting a progress report from some guy in the back who's saying, we have a good ping from the entire network of defense platforms arrayed around Mercury's orbit. We also have a strong signal from the watchtower around Venus. Sentinel City continues to grow. The mining of heavy metals is unabated, and they've begun construction on a subterranean bunker, an Orchis bunker, if you will. And finally, all the military upfits this station has been completed. Our weapon systems are online. So if you ask me, the X-Men completing their mission and jettisoning Mother Mold into the sun and then stopping at that was kind of stupid, because you left these people everything they needed to continue building Sentinels. That entire station, not just the Mother Mold, should have been first evacuated of humans and then thrown into the goddamn sun. Like, Magneto should have just been like, okay, you guys have X amount of time to get off this base, and then I'm throwing it into the sun, and then that'll be it. But they didn't do that because comic writing, whatever. And now they have to deal with something called Sentinel City, which I'm sure is going to come into play sometime in the future. And on top of that, some other things that I'm going to get to in this comic. So, Dr. Davo, who everyone thinks is a Shi'ar, who I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence that they have the same name, given that we saw Davo in New Mutants. He's over here talking to Omega Sentinel. Some delivery guy comes and Dr. Davo's like, take this to Dr. Leah Gregor. She's working on a special project. So we see this piece delivered to Dr. Gregor, and she's installing it into what looks like a Nimrod torso. And as she is, she's saying, a little closer, love. A little closer. So it doesn't take the genius to figure out that the Nimrod that she's building is going to have her husband's mind in it, most likely. Now, if you recall the assault on the Orchis base around the sun, everyone released their clamps with no problem almost immediately because Nightcrawler teleported everyone exactly where they needed to go. But Mystique somehow got turned around, and we were just not led to believe, what was going on. We weren't told. So now we actually get what was happening. Magneto and Professor X had Mystique plant the seed for Krakoan Gate on the Orchis base itself, and I think the hydroponics bay, it looks like. So that's the reason that she didn't get to her Orchis collar in a timely fashion. Now, after that entire team is resurrected, Magneto and Professor X take Mystique aside, and they say, we need you to go find out if you actually planted the seed, because you died, and you died beyond the reach of Cerebro, so your memories were backed up from before that mission. We need to know if you succeeded. So they send Mystique into the Orchis base from the portal that she planted, and hip hip hooray, because she actually got into the Orchis base. Mystique transforms to look like any other worker while she's poking around the Orchis base. She sees Dr. Gregor working. She looks at the Nimrod that's looking more and more like it's being completed. And she comes upon Dr. Gregor with a knife in her hand. Now, she could have slit her throat, but she chose not to. She chose to report back to Krakoa. And when she reports back to Krakoa and Magneto and Professor X, she tells them, we took our shot and we failed. It seems that your belief that Nimrod comes from the Mother Mold was misplaced, because Dr. Gregor is there and she's working on something that looks an awful lot like a Nimrod to me. So Magneto says, why didn't you take care of it? And Mystique's response, pure gold, pure sass, because she's just like, haven't you heard? We have laws now. So Magneto, he's like, not for that, not for them. And let's be honest, not for you if you thought it needed doing. So why didn't you? So Mystique, still being a smartass, she's like, because you needed to know, and now you do, but Professor X is not buying it. He's like, out with it, Raven. So Mystique states the obvious. She's like, I've been helpful, I've been cooperative, as much as it's not in my nature. I've done my part, but I'm not doing one more thing until you give her to me.
You give her to me!
Magneto says that wasn't the deal, and Mystique, she's just like, I don't care. You bring her back. And Professor X goes full-on hypocrite when he says, Raven, after all the time, after all the years of you stabbing your own kind in the back just to get what you want, after all that, do you really think we can trust you? And this just had me like, really? Really? You don't trust Mystique, and you know, you have reason not to, but are we just gonna overlook the fact that Sinister is there, that Apocalypse is there, and that they're more or less trusted? But I know he's just saying that because he's not gonna bring Destiny back and he needs some type of excuse. But that's a weak excuse. So Mystique, she loses her patience and she's just like, God damn it, what did you do to my wife? Like, she really puts her foot down. She's shouting in Magneto and Professor X's faces. And Professor X, he says, she will return when you've earned it. So Mystique seemingly relents when she says, we have some time, they're not far along, I'll go back tomorrow. But on her way out, she makes sure to tell Charles, I hate you. I have always hated you. Which I guess we're just gonna ignore the storyline from a couple years ago where the X Mansion was left to Mystique and Professor X's will, and Mystique was married, and they had like a future kid that came to the present for a while and was messing with the X-Men, but whatever, that's good. I don't want to remember those comics. They were trash. So we get the rest of the conversation between Destiny and Mystique, and Destiny basically says in the future there's gonna be an island. It won't be the first island, but it will be the last. It'll be an island for our people, I'm paraphrasing here, and they're gonna want us blind for some reason, but you and me, we were born to see. So I want you to remember these words when they refuse you. Bring me back. And if you cannot, if they will not, then burn that place to the ground. Now, this comic was awesome. It was great. Both Jonathan Hickman and the artist Matteo Bafagni, they brought all their comics expertise to bear on this. But I will say this, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't see a little more action in this issue given the cover. I mean, and I know covers lie all the time, but I really wanted to see Mystique go in and just start fucking shit up on Krakoa. And she did. I mean, they set it up even more than it was already set up for her to do that. But yeah, I really wanted to see her start messing stuff up. But besides that, I can't wait to see this Sentinel City and this Orcus bunker on Mercury, as well as the defense platforms in orbit. I don't think the X-Men were stupid, but I think they were written to be stupid. So same difference by just leaving their enemies there to pick up the pieces. Because you know what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm not advocating, like I said earlier, that the X-Men should have killed everyone at Orcus, but figuratively, they should have killed that entire operation. Like, salted earth, fire, brimstone, leave nothing standing. Like, every resource they had, throw it into the sun. But they let their enemies regroup, and their enemies are going to come back for a counter-strike that's going to cost all of mutant kind. And I can't wait to see it. And on another note, Mystique letting Dr. Gregor live even though she saw that the Sentinel is being built, like, damn, I understand she wants her wife back. Like, that's the love of her life, but love is the death of duty. I mean, Mystique should have watched Game of Thrones. She would have known that. And she's really not thinking clearly, because once those Sentinels are fully operational, and once that Nimrod in particular is fully operational, and when they assault Krakoa, as they're probably going to do, Mystique has more than just a dead wife to worry about. Like, your wife is already dead. You want her back? Fine. But you have your son and your daughter on Krakoa. Like, do you not care about their lives? Damn. Cold-hearted. But anyway, this has been Comics Expertise. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.